Lawmakers are set to meet with the Department of Basic Education on the state of South Africa's schools. The focus will be on infrastructure as communities continue to raise concerns over broken classrooms, staff shortages and scholar transport issues. Our Ntokozo Khumalo joins us now from Helderberg in Cape Town. Ntokozo, before that meeting, you are out, you're visiting schools. What have you been witnessing?
Good morning, Emmanuel. As you rightfully said, I am out in Helderberg in Cape Town, and I am on a stretch of road that really has some of the schools that the children in this community attend. We are just outside the primary school here, which is the foundation school, next door being the higher primary, and then the high school being further down the road. And yes, it's really about unpacking ahead, of course, of the national budget, whether the investments that government is making into education is bearing any fruit. The focus of that parliamentary briefing, of course, being around infrastructure issues as well as scholar transport, and we've heard those stories of how it impacts young people. But some residents here saying that there is one thing that government may be looking that is impacting the state of schools, and that is crime. And I have Wesley Moodley here, the founder of the Center of Excellence, here to talk us through that. Wesley, thank you so much for talking to me. A very alarming statistic that you were giving me just right now around crime stats in this community and how it affects education. The Department of Education having a briefing around the state of schools, but looking mainly at infrastructure and scholar transport issues. What are some of the issues that the community here as an agency needs government to intervene on?
Yeah, if you look at, let's start about, the infrastructure for our areas. We only have 2 high schools, and we're sitting with about 10 to 12 or 13 primary schools surrounding the area here. So let's talk about the grade 8 intake. How many grade 7s do you have? And how many can fit into those grade 8s? How many can they accommodate from all of those grade 7s from the primary schools? So infrastructure for us is something that we have to really discuss, because we also have informal settlements that also came alongside Bishop Lavers as well. So we have to accommodate those kids as well. So we have to look at the number of kids that's already in the classrooms as well, and if it's conducive for learning. So we have to talk about those type of things. And we're also in the top 10 gang districts of the Western Cape, that is Bishop Lavers. Learning here, we expect kids that's coming from dysfunctional homes, that don't have something to eat in the morning, that don't have proper attire, that doesn't have a mother that can, provide, a father to provide. Either the mother is either on substance or the father is in prison. Whatever the case may be, now the grandmother has to look after the child with a 500 Rand SASSA grant that they get. So it becomes very difficult for a child to learn, Then we're sitting with high levels of ADHD and fetus alcohol syndrome, etc., etc. So we need to really look at infrastructure and how the department can really support our learners in our communities, This is not a one size fits all. The government has to come down, investigate, and look, case per case, learner per learner.
Because this does, impact the way they channel then those funds that is in the budget. As you said earlier, that one of the challenges you see is that schools that are closer to main roads are a little bit safer, get a little bit more resources than the schools that are a little further in the community.
Yeah, the schools further in the communities are then basically cut away, so they're isolated. They are like that one sheep just wandering off. Obviously, if you get a one sheep that's wandering off, it's prone to be attacked. You will get break-ins, you will get your power cut, and so forth, because the elements in our areas, most of them are just looking for the next fix. They're not concerned about, the power cuts. They're not concerned about the well-being of the students. They're not concerned that if the power is cut, these kids can't learn, there's no water, all they're concerned is where do they get the next fix. And that cables is costing them 200 and 300 Rand. But the damage is, and that's what we're facing here. So government needs to look at where do they allocate the funding adequately. Okay?
Well, Wellesley, we're going to carry on that conversation, Iman. Of course, a lot to unpack in the conversation that we just had here with Wesley, some of the issues that schools here and community members. And as you see, Iman, some of the volunteers that are ensuring that kids get into the school safely, as we hear from Wesley and other organizations here, civil society, these are parents that are volunteering to just ensure that all the kids get into the school safely, can get the education that they need, even if they do face infrastructure challenges, like Wesley just said, coming in on a cold day, there's no electricity, or coming in a very hot day and there's no water, also then having to worry about issues of crime. As he said, it is a gang hotspot. So those are some of the discussions then that community members here are saying the Department of Basic Education as well as National Treasury should be having around how budgets for schools and for education is allocated, take it from a case-to-case basis, Iman. But we will have more updates a little bit later on this morning as they're due to meet at 9:30.
Looking forward to that, Ntokozo. Thank you.